Hi, I'm Patrick Donovan with the COD News. Today is the 5-year anniversary of the terrible Chernobyl disaster that occurred in Russia. Today, I will be speaking with experts about this hideous tragedy. When I come back after this break, we will be speaking with Nick Shea about the food web and living organisms. Alright, we're back from the break, and with me is special guest Nick Shea. Nick, I have a few questions for you. First of all, how are living organisms affected by Chernobyl?
Well, it affected humans because the air was contaminated. It was bad for the people breathing, so they were evacuated. Also, birds were significantly decreased the brain size. Also, cows' milk got contaminated because the radiation sat on top of the soil, and the cows ate from the grass, and the humans drank it, so it affected the humans.
My final question for you is, how are the food webs affected?
The food webs are affected because the grass and plants got contaminated, so the animals that eat grass and plants got contaminated. A lot of the animals that were inside of the exclusion zone were reduced with reproduction. Invertebrates lay the eggs on top of the soil and it was contaminated, so the reduce of the population affected in the whole ecosystem.
Thank you, Nick. Alright, now I'm here with Robbie May. Robbie, did Chernobyl affect the atmosphere?
Yes, for 10 days following the explosion, the Chernobyl reactor released major quantities of radioactive substances with a total of 14 eV per Q. Some of the significant radioisotopes released include iodine-131, cesium-137, and plutonium. More than 200,000 kilometers squared of Europe was contaminated above the level of 37 kBq-m squared, cesium-137. The most affected countries included Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. For example, radioactive deposits were larger in areas where it was raining. During this time, the contaminated air masses passed by.
Alright, Robbie, I have one last question for you. Were global warming, ozone depletion, smog, or acid rain results from Chernobyl?
Yes, today there has been many concerns involving global warming and the amount of oil supplies that have brought back power and has been a possible answer to mankind's need for energy. For example, the United States is one of many nations planning to expand their use of nuclear power. To prevent what happened at the disaster, there has been improvements in reactor design and safety procedures which make a disaster such as Chernobyl a very unlikely accident. Chernobyl was one of 3 human-inflicted holes on the ozone layer. The other natural holes.
Thank you, Robbie. Alright, now I'm here with another guest, Kevin Mansen. Kevin, how was the area of Chernobyl rehabilitated over the years since the accident?
Within 3 years of the accident of Chernobyl, the trees had regained their reproductive functions. The forests had begun to thrive. Areas within the heart of the exclusion zone had the largest density of animals, as well as the greatest diversity. Since people and their livestock do not enter the exclusion zone, there is not much overgrazing, no fires, and no destruction. The grass is very deep and the habitat is doing very well. The area outside the exclusion zone has been severely overgrazed by cattle that there is little grass. In addition, the trees have been cut for firewood, a stress factor that has not affected the exclusion zone. My prediction is, in a few more years to come in the area, outside the exclusion zone will catch up to the exclusion zone, and they will both be fully restored. This fast recovery could be slowed down if people start taking the resources out of the area before it is fully recovered.
Thank you.
So Pat, you covered the Chernobyl story. We have a question for you about how the population of organisms were affected by Chernobyl.
Well, the grass became contaminated and the cows actually ate the contaminated grass. People then drank milk and ate from the cows, so they were given high doses to the thyroid gland. Animals and vegetation in forest mountain areas had high absorptions of radiocesium, which in turn led to a decline of agricultural products for humans. Due to the outbreak of radiocesium, the government put restrictions on hunting, including scheduled hunting season. When animal contamination in the meat was lower, contamination of surface water throughout Europe quickly declined through dilution, physical decay, and absorption through radionuclides. Row accumulation in the aquatic food chain elevated radiocesium's concentration that were found in fish that were as far away as Scandinavia and Germany. Reproductive losses of plants and animals were high. High exposure distances of up to 30 kilometers outside of that zone, and there was no acute radiation-induced effects that have been reported till this day. Biological populations have been recovering through genetic effects of radiations and have been seen in germ cells of plants and animals.